on the lesson, as you read through the scenario, budget scenario, which I put on the left-hand side, list all the expenses for each category in the appropriate cell. Add them to get your spending totals, and then we're going to divide them. And then we'll go through that. Let's first just look at the scenario, and then we'll add them to our needs and wants. You guys can see that I already completed it. So we have Sarah. Sarah recently graduated with a degree in marketing. She has started a job that pays her $48,000 per year. Her monthly net income is $2,800. She's moving into her own one-bedroom apartment in the city. She doesn't own a car, but she has subway expenses. She also adopted a dog, and so she has to pay for dog food and vet bills. Sarah has budgeted the following monthly expenses. So what I do is I give my kids the worksheet that I just gave to you, as well as scenario, just like this one. And the kids have to list them out there. The first thing it says is, as we read through the scenario, list them under needs, wants, and financial goals. So as we go through this, we've got rent, $960. I put under a need because we know that's a need. Food, which is $400. Clothing, $150. College loan, $140. Now with the college loan, you guys, I moved it over to the 20% side because normally that's where we're going to put our debt, where we want to pay off something. And remember, as you guys get older and you guys are, you can work it a different way depending on your needs. Okay, because everybody's going to be a little bit different on their budgeting, especially on their 50, 30, 20. Eating out, $200, and I put that under a want because under wants, you guys, eating out is eating out. And then we've got Subway. Subway, you guys, is going to be transportation. But the funny thing is that on this one, I have to crack up because a lot of my students would go, Miss Leidy, oh my goodness, this woman spends $220 eating out at Subway every month. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, no, it's Subway. Subway is transportation. So again, you guys, it's kind of funny when I read this one because Subway is one that my kids crack up about. So, and then Subway, you guys, is going to be transportation needs. We have to have our transportation, okay? We have utilities, which is going to be a need because we have to have our utilities of $80. And then our cell phone. That's another one, you guys. Now, see, cell phone is another one that people kind of go, is that a need or a want? You know, is it? It's a tough one, you guys. I put it under my wants, but then I think the student that I'm going to show you guys next has it different. Cell phone, you guys, and then savings, $100, I put under 20%. Renter's insurance, I put under a need because insurances need to be a need. We've got to make sure that we're not accepting all that risk that's out there without insurance. Again, pet care, I put pet care under want. I'm gonna be honest with you all. A lot of my students feel that pets need to be under needs. But again, everybody's different when they're doing their budgeting. Cable and internet, $160. I put that under a want. Because kids will say, well, Miss, I've got to have the internet to use my phone. Okay, but is it a want or a need? Okay, so really it's kind of depending on your situation. So as we read through these scenarios, we take our scenario and then we list them. What we do next, you guys, is of course we put up our monthly net income, and it looks like Sarah, her monthly net income is $2,800. And once I put up $2,800, I add up the totals to make sure. I always tell my kids, make sure that you've counted, like I think there's 10, no, maybe there's 12. Make sure that you have all the expenses listed or the wants, and they're all on there from the scenario, because that's what tends to happen. Kids kind of miss one or two. Then I have them add them all up, and you can see like on the needs, it was $1,890. And then the wants were $520. And then my goals, my financial goals for my savings or debt was $240. So what we do next, you guys, is we divide the category total, which would be the $1,890. And then we divide it by our net income to determine our percentage. So again, you guys, once I teach the kids, oh my goodness, just divide it into there. They're like, yes, I got this, Miss Lighty, I can do this. And we can see that the percent of income on this one is 68%. What we do on the next one, you guys, is we go ahead and on the bottom one, I think we got 68% for the needs. And then the wants are going to be 19. Again, we're going to take our totals. We're going to divide them by our net income. And that'll give us our percent. Okay. And then the last one that they do on the very bottom is, it says, this is what my students always do. Miss, I don't know what to do on the last part. And I go, did you read it? And they'll go, no. And then I go, then read it and then ask me again. So that last part, you guys, they just have to look at it to see if the current budget is near, above, or below the recommended percentage. So we can see in the needs, poor Sarah's got 68% of her needs going. Her needs are in 68% with 19% in her wants, and then 9% only going into her savings. Okay. Does everybody kind of understand that, you guys? Yes. Yes. And it's always, remember, it's going to be different though for every single person. Okay. So we're going to add our totals, needs. We're going to take that total category. We're going to divide it by our net income, and it's going to give our percent. So it's really easy for you guys. Like me, you guys, I'll sit at home and do like 3 columns, and I'll write down all my needs and my wants each month and my financial goals. And that kind of helps me kind of keep them in line a little bit, you know, but because I'm always juggling to kind of move them around a little bit. Even as an adult, you guys, budgets are, tedious when we think, I got to do a budget, you know, but we really need to know where our money's going. We need to be prepared for the future, and we need to make sure that we're paying it as well as paying ourselves, because we are important. We need to pay ourselves first. We need that money for those emergencies. Any question on this one, you guys? I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to show you guys. Let me get over here. I was looking at the fun little chat. I'm going to show you guys the same one that I just went over with you guys, but we can see that this student completed hers and put the pet care and the cell phone, everything over in the needs. Okay, so it made hers go to 73%. Okay, and then it made her wants go to 12%, as well as 8%, I believe, on her, or 9% on her financial goals. And remember, you guys, when we look at the scenarios, they're not always going to come out to their monthly net income. Okay. These, you guys, they lead into some great discussions about categorizing our needs and our wants, because it's really important that we figure this out. So like with this example right here, with this one student's work, I love how she did her little pie chart. You know, a lot of kids, they like to get drawing on it. And that's how I do them as well, you guys. And this is kind of the one that I give an example, and I do it with my students first, so then they can learn it. Because I feel that if we model it, they learn a lot better, rather than just give it out to them. And then I kind of walk around the room, you guys, and make sure that they're understanding that percent, because that's also a question as well, is dividing that needs into the monthly net income. And you can see with this one, she put renters, she put pet care as well as a cell phone bill. So it raised her 50% up to 73% on hers, because mine was a little bit lower. But then again, you guys, there's those pet cares. A lot of the pets, they feel that they're needs, and they can be. But sometimes I always say, well, then kind of move it over to a want and see if that kind of proportions it out a little bit. The cool thing about the PowerPoint and that this assignment is that it gives you that reflection. You can justify your categorization. Just like she did on this one. I used the allocate your budget chart that was shown in the projector to categorize my expenses. And then they always have advice. What could we do? What could we do to improve it? We can look at this one, and like this student said, I would tell the individual to spend less money on food. Her food bill alone was $400 a month. She's single. What the heck is she buying? you know? And it's kind of like, okay, if she's spending $400 a month and eating out for 200, she's spending $600 a month. And it gives those advice to kind of improve that budget. Because like on this one, you guys, it is, I know it is so expensive, isn't it? It is, you guys. But they'll kind of look at this and go, okay, $400 on food. Have we ever heard of shopping maybe on sale days or looking for buys? Okay, because we can out there, you guys, we can get a little bit, but food is expensive and it has went up drastically. We all know that. But we can look at this and go, okay, maybe we should move the pet to a want to lower down those needs, and then move the pets to the wants. And then also, let's see what else she said. Oh, her clothes. She said her clothes were at $150 a month. Okay, which is a little bit high. Okay, it is a little bit high for clothing, you guys. So she could probably look at that and lowering that cost as well, and maybe taking some of that money and moving it over to her savings and saving a little bit more to try to get that savings amount up there. The great thing about this is you guys, it gives the kids, when they analyze it like this, it gets them see that firsthand. And it also, like I said earlier, you guys, it empowers my students. They get this and they do this. They're like, wow, man, I figured out the percent. I know exactly how to do this, miss. And not only they did the pie chart as well, doing the 50, 30, 20, and being able to do the categories. And I'm inclusive. So I teach all kiddos in my classroom. And most of my students, for the most part, you guys, sometimes I have to kind of help them a little bit, but that's okay. They're going to understand it a little